Welcome back to another episode of 6 Minutes History. We all know that Britishers ruled India for a long time. The stories of unjust behavior and hardships and the struggle for our freedom is well known to all. But how exactly did all come to an end? Let's learn. It was the Quit India movement that marked the end of British rule in India. But before we begin, be sure to subscribe and never miss out on any video. In 1939, the Indian government had to join the Second World War immediately, just as it had joined the First in 1914. It was ironic that India fought against German, Japanese, and Italian forces to defend freedom and democracy while it remained a colony. The All India Congress Committee leaders staunchly expressed their discontent with India's involvement in the war. They went on individual satyagrahas protesting the war. But many of these leaders were arrested by British officials. The Britishers needed India's support in fighting the war. With Japan's support, the Axis powers made the situation very difficult. Sir Stafford Cripps, an officer of the British government, led a mission to win India's cooperation in the Second World War. Given the Britishers' vulnerable position in the war, the AICC leaders decided to make the most out of the situation. The Congress leaders demanded independence for India from the British rule in return for India's involvement in the war. This discussion was not successful, but Cripps offered dominion status to India. In response to this status, Congress opposed and demanded immediate transfer of power. The Cripps mission raised a lot of hopes, but Mahatma Gandhi and the Congress were adamant to settle for nothing less than complete freedom. After sweeping through the British colonies, the Japanese army reached the eastern borders of India. Britain's presence made India a target and posed a serious threat to the country's security. On the night of August 8, 1942, the Congress delegates passed the historic Quit India resolution. It proposed starting a mass struggle on non-violent lines under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi to compel the British to grant complete independence to India. Speaking from the podium, Gandhiji gave to the people the infamous mantra, "Do or die." That meant that one shall either free India or die in the attempt, and coined the term Quit India. On 9th August, before dawn, Gandhiji and all other nationalist leaders were arrested and the Congress was banned. The government thought that they had nipped the problem in the bud. Little did they know what would follow. The news of these arrests shocked the nation. It had touched a raw nerve among the masses. The rural and the poor particularly were affected the most, who were already suffering from the worst famine in 40 years in the country. Almost immediately, India was swallowed by an unprecedented nationwide uprising. There were demonstrations, processions, and protests. Without any leaders to guide the people, the Quit India movement took different shapes in different parts of the country. Young leaders stepped forward to lead the protests, and some areas even saw locals overthrowing the administration. Surprised by the uprising of people, the British government resorted to firing, lathi charge, and large-scale arrest. The brutality of the police enraged the people further. They reacted violently. Anything that was associated with Britain was attacked, including police stations, post offices, and other government buildings. Railway, telegraph, and telephone lines were disconnected. Against Gandhi's will, the Quit India movement took a violent turn. The British army was called in to crush the revolt. While there are no official records, it is believed that over 10,000 people were killed and injured in police and military firing. Unplanned and leaderless, the protest faced brutal repression. By September 1942, the protest began to slow down and the movement was suppressed. Areas that saw the government collapse were suppressed by mid-1943. Although the government had ruthlessly crushed the 1942 movement, the upsurge had shaken the very foundations of British rule in India. Viceroy Lord Linlithgow later admitted that it was the biggest rebellion since the mutiny during the First War of Independence in 1847. In order to maintain military security, Britain had to conceal the gravity and extent of the rebellion. Even though the Quit India movement could not force the British to leave India, it demonstrated to them the depth of nationalist feeling in the country and the willingness of Indians to struggle and sacrifice themselves for the country. After that, there was hardly any political activity till 1945. Most of the Congress leaders remained in jail until the end of World War II. Nationalist activities surfaced once again in 1945 outside India's borders under Subhash Chandra Bose leadership. But we will talk about that in another video. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe to 6 Minutes of History, and we will see you soon.